Good morning and welcome to Real Estate Matters on Super FM 92.7. I'm your host, King Ray Realtor. So, August 8th, 2023, was about 2 years ago, President Bola Tinubu inaugurated the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee led by Mr. Taiwo Oyedele to drive reforms in Nigeria's tax system. And then 2 years later, the new tax policies for the country were signed by the president. And later, on the 10th September 2025, notably, the federal government says the changes and structures are structured to protect the low-income earners while shifting the tax burden to wealthy individuals and big corporations. As part of the policies, Section 30, Subsection 23 of the Nigeria Tax Act has now provided relief for rent payers. They can now access 20% of their rent, provided that the 20% is not above 500,000 naira. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive deeper into this. The 20% rent waiver in the new tax law and what it really means for the everyday Nigerian. Still your host, King Ray Realtor, and this is Real Estate Matters. Okay, back to today's topic on the 20% rent waiver in the new tax laws. It's important to note that individuals earning an annual taxable income of about 800,000 or less are fully exempted from personal income tax, right? I think a lot of Nigerians, of course, you have to consult a finance expert to break that down to you, because that means that in the whole year, whatever it is that you're earning, if it's below 800,000, you're fully exempted from personal income taxes. All right, because I know that there's a lot of panic and misconception in what's going to happen to some of us, especially with the there's an information, I think someone said that, well, there's some information about how the banks are going to have access to whatever it is that you're earning. So, I mean, for those who are earning less than 800,000 naira per year, I think your mind can calm down, okay? Okay, so to qualify for this waiver, one, you must be a tenant, not a property owner. Two, the rent relief of 20% of annual rent can only be redeemed if the actual rent paid is declared accurately. It must be properly documented. So when you have your real estate agent or your realtor that you're working with, when you draft your agreements, lease agreements, it must be clearly stated there how much it costs for the rent and what the waivers, and then you can then indicate what the waiver is going to be, the percentage of the waiver, and how it affects you. This means the tax relief only applies to individuals earning above 800,000 naira, since they are the ones that are going to be paying personal income tax. So the simple calculation of the rent waiver, the rent relief is whichever is lower between 20% of your rent and 500,000 naira. If your rent is about 1.5 million, your rent relief will be about roughly 300,000 naira. That's 20% of 1.5 million because it is lower than the 500,000 limit. If your rent is 3 million, your relief will be 500,000 because 20% of 3 million is 600,000 naira, which is higher than the 500,000 naira limit. If your rent is, so you can apply that, however the calculation goes. With the new tax law, an individual earning 6 million annually and paying 1 million naira rent yearly can get a relief of 200,000 naira. That's about 20% of 1 million, leaving the taxpayer with about 5.8 million as taxable income and an annual tax of 834,000 naira. And this covers the, so who covers the cost relief? All right. The federal government covers the cost of the 20% rent relief through a tax allowance for tenants. It's not a direct subsidy paid to landowners, but a relief for renters while filing their personal income taxes. All right. The rent relief is an allowance that allows tenants to deduct up to 20% of their annual rent, or 200,000 naira, whichever is lower, from the chargeable income. This then reduces the amount of income tax that they have to pay. This means that the government, in effect, covers the cost of foregoing the tax revenue it would have collected from those tenants. That's from the tenants that are getting the subsidized rates. It must be noted that the finance burden of the relief is not placed on the landowners, who still receive their full rent from the tenants. The rent relief is different from the one introduced by some property owners during the COVID-19 era, where they got discounts on annual rents. And the 20% rent applies only to personal income taxes. I'm not sure if this clarifies for anybody who is not quite sure about the 20%, the 20% rent waiver. If there are any questions, feel free to call in on our line 07056900927 or 08025027711 or 08029788003. We're going to go on another quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to discuss more on some of the issues that are affecting us real estate. On the topic regarding to the 20% tax relief for Nigerians, and now we are going to dive into a big issue here in Lagos State, especially with regards to the flood. Yesterday, some of us were stuck in traffic for about 2 to 3 hours because of the roads that is along, what do you call this place now? The Lekki-Ekpe Express Road, which was badly flooded, and a lot of cars were breaking down. There was even a large truck that broke down across the road and added to the traffic. There were a lot of what they call these streets thugs that were coming out to present assistance, but were not really assisting. I think I even had a bad experience with someone actively hitting my car to say he wants to help me, and then getting very aggressive when I refused. Oh, we have a call. Please hold on. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning, and welcome to Real Estate Matters. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Real Estate Doctor.
Oh my goodness. Real Estate Doctor, you called in today.
I'm actually kind of trying to catch up with the flight.
Okay.
Airport,
we're missing you here on the show. Are you calling about the flood or about our tax reform?
Yeah, so I think I think it's a noble idea with the new tax reform. I think it's going to give Nigerians a sign of relief. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think a lot of Nigerians still need to understand how this law is going to work.
Yes.
The average Nigerian do not understand what tax reform means, and even the rebate that is going to be given, the 20% rebate and all that. Yes. They need to. So the government needs to come closer to Nigerians to explain how this is going to work. If the implementation is also going to be very easy for them, they need to make the average Nigerian understand the process.
True.
So the issue of the flood is a topical discussion right now. Yesterday, I drive an SUV. My SUV was flooded.
Oh my goodness!
So the question on my mind was, what is the fate of people driving cars? I can imagine how many cars broke down yesterday on Lekki Expressway.
It was really bad.
Let me use this big grammar. It was a total fiasco. Total fiasco. People go home to past midnight.
It was really bad. It was
so
scary.
I think I'm happy that we're putting up shows like this. I think that Lagos State, the Commissioner for Environment, Tokunbo needs to understand that it's not just about staying on Instagram and replying messages or locking up lounges and bars. This is reality. People are going through hardship. The hardship is enough already to come and have the hardship of flooding. People could not even. People were.
And damages to vehicles. In fact, there was
damages, not even vehicles, to houses. Yeah,
to houses as well.
Inside the flooded,
and personal properties.
Bedrooms. Flooded bedrooms yesterday. You know what I mean? And people were homeless because they had to go and make arrangements for apartments to put up yesterday. Houses in Lekki, the so-called Lekki, that has cost of billions, were flooded. Bedrooms were like swimming pools. So the government needs to come up with a long-lasting solution to this issue of flooding. It is not only Nigeria that rain falls. Rain falls in America now.
True. Flooding is a global problem. But this one seems to be...
as a man-made problem. The flooding in America is a natural disaster. It's a natural problem. The one in Nigeria is a man-made problem.
It's something that infrastructure can fix.
Yes. People have built houses on drainages. People, even with Nigerians too, we litter the roads, litter the gutters. You will see people driving SUVs, winding down to throw out waste products from their cars every day in Lagos.
Littering.
So problems, and I think, yes.
Littering is a big problem.
It's very important that the agencies involved understand this process. And, make Lagos State a livable place. Yes, please. Thank you. Well done, looking great. Well done.
Thank you very much, real estate doctor. It was good to hear your voice. We have another call coming in.
All right, thank you.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Real Estate Matters. I'm your host, King Ray Realtor. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello. Okay, we lost that call. Real estate doctor, you're right. A lot of Nigerians were badly affected. A lot of Lagosians were badly affected yesterday. I can tell you, in the traffic I was in, there was a car in front of me. The poor man was scooping out water from inside his car. He was scooping it out with bottle or with a cup, and I was just like, "Oh, this is so unfortunate." We have a call. Hello. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. This is Real Estate Matters.
Good morning, King Gray.
Good morning.
Antonia from Ojo.
Good morning, Antonia from Ojo. It's good to hear your voice today.
Yeah, I traveled, so I've been so busy.
And we missed you.
I traveled to Enugu.
Oh, wow.
I want to thank you so much for the tax reform education that you just
I'm glad you yes, I'm glad you got to learn a bit from that.
And I want to ask, is the Commissioner for Environment in Lagos State here listening to this show?
You know, the truth is, with government and Lagos, especially Lagos State, I'm convinced that a lot of times commissioners and government officials do listen in on shows that have to do with their industry. So yes, information would definitely get to.
I became so afraid about the flooding
yesterday. It was really bad.
I became so afraid about the flooding.
And it was raining almost all day.
All day. And we have children going to school with this flooded environment.
And around that time, I think it was close of school when it was really bad.
The worst part of it is people will eat and throw things out from their cars. So I think this is just the work of the Commissioner for Environment. They should just please do something about it.
And Lagosians as well. Thank you very much, Antonia.
The whole thing that happened to us, we are the cause of it.
Yes, we have our role to play as well.
The natural ones. They are man-made, like the real estate doctor said. Now we do our best.
Unfortunately.
I'm calling for the Lagos State government to take this flooding wahala serious. It's too much.
It is.
We should expect rain every year, but
not
the flooding should not be too much.
Yes,
like this,
it shouldn't be as bad as it was yesterday. It really shouldn't be. And you're right. A lot of Lagosians have a role to play.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Antonia. It's always very exciting to have you when you call in your insights and your information. So yes, Antonia, and thank you very much, real estate doctor. Littering is a part of the problem. Nigerians don't seem to understand. We are a part of this system. Yes, I agree. Infrastructure needs to be put in place. Okay, because one of the things I was panicking and paranoid about yesterday when I was driving was falling into one of those potholes that was covered with the water, because I just kept on thinking, hey, if I enter a pothole, who will drag me Who will drag me out of this? And it is unfortunate because that is even what some of those young boys on the street were doing. They were going and telling people that they will help you walk in front to see if there's a pothole and then direct you on how to. But we all know that's just on the side. It is unfortunate, and it is something that we can all play our own role in it. I agree that yes, we need infrastructure, we need a system, we need structures that work, but we also need to be deliberate and conscious that those bottles, that nylon that you're throwing out of the window, those non-biodegradable products that you keep tossing out onto the streets, they end up in the gutters. They block waterways. They block all the systems that would have helped the water flow elsewhere. Building on water canals, blocking those water canals, they hinder the flow of water, and in the long run, they affect all of us in our day-to-day lives. I know there were children. You see children. I saw children on the streets as well, with their uniforms. One child had the uniform wrapped around her waist and she was just wading through the water, soaked and dirty, and I'm just like, this poor child. Only God knows the germs and the kind of things that's inside this water that's flowing everywhere, that this child will now carry home and have to go and get cleaned up and So it's something that we all have to be conscious about. Not to talk about the houses and properties that were damaged yesterday. In fact, not even yesterday, I think even today, some places still have flood. Even today, that's the flood, the water has not completely left those areas. Yes, with regards to government officials listening in on our calls, I'm sure that they do. I mean, we've had a few feedback from some one or two who have shared their insights posts our show or during the show, just to say, this is what is possible and this one. Maybe in the future we're gonna have one of them come in on the show and just share with us what is happening. Let the poor
let the poor breathe.
Let the poor breathe.
Every single time I have been in a situation where there is a flood happening, I'm literally panicking. Yes, and that's why I would choose the mainland over and over again. And guess what? The mainland is actually not safe.
The mainland also
it's not safe. Alakbere access. I know that there was one time that I was supposed to commute from, I think it was Abiola Garden, and I was going to Ifako, Bagada. What was one of those places? And we had to stop for more than an hour waiting for the water to die down before we could. Because once you put in your car there, it's over.
It's really bad for some people.
Eric and Weledim from Big Brother say moving to Accra is not a bad idea. She literally just posted not too long ago because she said she had to have her car fixed.
At this point,
if you have a luxury car, it's over for you if you live in Lekki.
No,
because the tendencies at that car would get damaged to the point where you have to even buy a new engine.
Yes, where you have to make some repairs. See, when I got past the water lodged area, I could see the line along my car, and my car is high. It was right there. And then not just that, the front, where that grid is.
Yes.
I could see trash
in there.
Things that were there. I just said putting out my mind.
If you were in that traffic yesterday, we have a few minutes. Just call me. Tell us what you experienced with your car, especially. Remember, we have the test drive show. It happens every Thursday, so you can listen in and know all the things that you can do to your car. But this real estate issue is just something else. It was
really, really, really bad. Hello, welcome to Real Estate Matters. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Oh,
you may need to call us back. 0705 6900
And
if you're a driver in Lagos,
it's really, you can also send us WhatsApp messages on 070-569-00927 or 090-3714-2798.
But it's obviously an infrastructure situation, and landlords cannot do anything.
I agree that it's an infrastructure.
But why do landlords increase their rent when the government has done the road? That's because one question I just want to ask.
Increases the value of the property. Because at the end of the day, you know that it's easier for you to get to your home and your place of residence, when the roads are better.
Do you think that the real estate body could reach out to the government time and again to ensure that at least movement of people, especially with this flooding situation. NIMET had come out, as the Nigerian Meteorological Agency had come out to say that some states in Nigeria, like Kebbi, Kano, were prone to flood. They never mentioned Lagos. And last week I said, everyone just be ready. But rain in September.
It's really, you see, and that is also another thing that reflects the whole global warming and change of environment and change of weather, and the weather being unpredictable. Yes, there's a way to predict the weather, but a lot of people will attest to the fact that this kind of rain is not something that we are familiar with. Ember period. By Ember, September, October, our minds would have experiencing some sort of dry
weather,
right, towards the Harmattan. But that change in the atmosphere, in the weather, is also a reflection of
as a real estate guru. If there are pointers you would want to give out to anybody out there to say, before you get an apartment, these are the things. 1,
we
2,
have a very long
3, 4, one after the other. If you could discuss and say, okay, you have to point out this are the things that you need to point out, because I mean it's
you know, we covered this some weeks back, where we talked
paying
about
millions only for them to come out to flood.
There are signs in areas when they are prone to flood. A lot of times what you look out for is when you're driving down a street, right, and you see the fences. You see where, especially those ones that, when water is coming to a particular area too often, a lot of times you find that the walls start to change color, or start to peel, right? So you just look out for those subtle signs when you're going to a new area, right? And then of course there's also the fact of working with a professional. Professionals we are meant to disclose fully. This area has this. That is why the rent is this amount. Because there are certain places that you will go to that the rent is cheap, and you're like, why is
I'm
the
looking
rent
at all
less
these
than it should
men that all this real estate. I wouldn't use quack loosely, but yes, yeah, that is some of them are like that. They take you to a location. I don't know, this place is good.
They will tell you.
Someone took me to a location where at the back of my window is a gutter. I say I don't understand. So I should be breathing in what air and bringing out what. So I mean, how do you differentiate somebody that wants your best interest at heart and not someone that just wants to just get their property off the market?
What professional body are they part of? We have the Nigerian Association of Realtors, the National Association of Realtors. We have the Association of Agents, Real Estate Agents in Nigeria. We have Nigerian estate valuers who also do brokerage. We have certain firms that are registered and part of real estate brokerage association. So it's for you to do your own vetting, to say, okay, what are you? You just say, oh, I'm a realtor. What is your realtor number? Do you have that?
Right.
Even in Lagos, especially in Lagos State. Lagos State has a portal where you can register as a real estate agent, and that's on that portal you can also report if your real estate agent does not do what is expected of them. You can report them on that system if they have their number. That's why some of them will avoid registering there, because they know
they can be called to order, accountable.
Exactly. Same thing
that
with
makes sense.
Becoming a realtor and getting your NAR number or your AAN registration number. This is your number. This is your ID. When they come and say, "Oh, I'm a realtor," what is your realtor ID?
Right.
And they provide that to you. When they fall short, you can take that number to the association and hold them accountable.
Okay. Fantastic.
Okay. So I know that a lot of us still have issues and insights on the flooding that we've experienced over the week, and then some of us still have questions with regards to the tax reform and the 20% break, for those of in Lagos and Nigeria. And I think it's something that we can still send in our messages on WhatsApp. That's 070-56-900-927. And you can always join our show next week. It was fun this week. I'm still your girl, Real King Ray Realtor.